You have this problem, right?
I saw someone murdered.
Okay. Now, first of all, I don't want you to think about it, but I want you to know that you feel it, right? How strong is the feeling don't think about it all, just your feeling now?
10.
10. Okay. And you can feel it in your body too. You have a tree in front of you and you pull all the roots out, what happens to it?
It collapses.
Say this out loud. We're eliminating.
We're eliminating.
All the sadnesses.
All the sadnesses.
We're eliminating.
We're eliminating.
All the fears.
All the fears.
We're eliminating.
We're eliminating.
All the angers.
All the angers.
We're eliminating.
We're eliminating.
All the emotional traumas.
All the emotions.
All the guilts.
All the guilt.
Helpless feelings.
Helpless
Feelings of no control.
Feelings of
Rejections.
Rejections.
Abandonments.
Abandonments.
Even though
I'm
here today.
I'm here today.
I got this guy tapping on my hand.
This guy tapping on my hand.
I have a microphone in the other.
I have a microphone in the other.
I'm okay now.
I'm okay now.
Even though something happened way back when.
Something happened way back.
It's over now. I'm here now. All the sadnesses, all the fears, all the angers. It's okay. Just release it all. Let it all go. All the emotional traumas. If you're feeling anything out there, you need to tap on yourself. Bless your heart. Let it all go. We're eliminating all the sadnesses, all the fears, all the angers. Now you're feeling something, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Very good. I don't want you to remember. I don't want you to talk about it, okay? Because what I want you to do is I want you to dance around the outside. Okay? Okay, now you still have some feeling, right?
Yeah.
What does it feel like?
Fear, real fear.
Okay, that real fear. That real fear. That fear. That fear. Peace. All the sadnesses. That's right, let it all go. Release it all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Relax. There you go. Okay. We're not talking about it, but if you were, how would it feel now if you weren't? Don't think about it. I want you just, you know what it was without talking about it. How does it feel now? Because a while ago it was a 10.
It's probably an 8.
How do you know? You feel it somewhere?
Yeah, I don't feel, yeah.
Where you feel it at?
In my throat.
Okay. Even though I feel it in my throat.
Feel it in my throat.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
That feeling.
That feeling.
That throat feeling.
The throat feeling.
The tightness.
Tightness.
The pressure.
Pressure.
Restriction.
Restriction.
Helplessness.
Helplessness.
No control.
No control.
Peace. Okay. You're still away from it. How does it feel now? It was an 8. What is it now?
It's about a 6.
How do you know?
Because I can look at it and I'm not in it.
Okay. So that 6 feeling. That distance. Peace. Now is it in color or black and white?
Gray and black.
Push it way back up where it's, move it from down here to up here. Feels much better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can't feel it down there. Keep it up there.
Yeah, it does feel better up there.
All right. Even though
this
did happen at one time.
This did happen at one time.
The nice thing about that,
The nice thing about that,
it's over.
it's over.
I'm here now,
I'm here now.
and I'm okay.
And I'm okay.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
Peace. You notice how she looked at her picture when we moved it up? And it felt so much easier. Isn't that right? Now, a while ago it was a 10. Now what is it now?
It's a different aspect
Okay,
of
good.
it now than it was before. I'm here and I'm alive, but
They're not.
they're not.
And is it, let me ask you a simple question. Could you change anything yourself?
I could now. I could.
Right. Now I want you to be aware of something. As we are back then, there's nothing you could do.
I know that.
So that, let's do the guilt, the helplessness and no control. Peace. 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 Even though I couldn't change anything then,
I couldn't change anything then.
I only wish I could now.
I only wish I could now.
But I can't.
But I can't.
I can change how I feel now
I can change how I feel now.
and release its impact.
And release its impact.
And all the sadnesses,
All the sadnesses.
all the fears,
All the fears.
all the angers.
All the angers.
Peace.
Peace.
Okay. Now how's it seem when you look at it up there? What's the aspect now?
It's sad that it happened, but I know at 7 I would have been killed too if I had tried to do so.
Okay, safe, peace, 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 peace. All the sadnesses,
All the sadnesses,
all the fears,
all the fears,
all the angers,
all the angers,
all the emotional traumas,
all the emotional
Guilt,
guilt,
helplessness,
helplessness,
everything else.
everything else.
Peace. Now, as you see it, how's it look way off up in the sunset there?
It's farther away, and it's I can have compassion for. It's like it's not me, but the person that it happened to, I can feel compassion for them, and I don't feel the guilt.
Well, let's make sure. Any guilt and all guilt.
Any guilts and all guilts.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Peace.
Peace.
Now, a while ago, you remember how strong it was over there?
Mm-hmm.
How strong is it now when you just barely think about it?
It's about a 3.
How do you know?
Because I'm not as tense, and I can swallow, and I can think about it without getting so emotional.
Okay. The remaining feelings.
Remaining feelings.
Remaining feelings.
Feelings.
Peace.
Peace.
That's right. Much better.
Yeah.
Look at it again. How's it seem?
It just seems like something that's sad that happened, and it's over.
Right. Can you make it feel bad is the question now. That
Yeah.
feeling. That feeling. Now, you had to do something different, didn't you? Okay. Peace.
Peace.
All the sadnesses.
All the sadness.
All the fears.
All the fears.
All the angers.
All the angers.
Emotional traumas.
Emotional traumas.
Peace. Now, what did the picture? Did it move or did it stay up there?
It stayed up there, but there were
A face. That face. That look. That feeling.
Feeling.
That feeling.
A feeling.
Peace. Check the face again. How's it seem?
It's gray, or it's dark, or it's
The remaining
not
feelings.
as clear.
Not so important.
It's important.
Peace. Okay? Now, can you make it feel bad at all?
No, I mean, no.
Are you sure?
I can accept it.
Can you make it feel bad? Because a while ago, you remember said, how can you make this problem
Yeah.
not bother you?
Yeah.
You remember what you said?
I just didn't see how it couldn't.
Did it do anything?
Yeah, I mean, my perspective of it is
So how do you see it now?
Now I see it as something that happened, and I had no control over it.
And you feel okay that no control
And
over
I feel
Okay,
okay, because
good.
I don't. I didn't. I couldn't.
it? No, you was just a 7-year-old
Right.
girl.
Right. I couldn't do anything. And it's just one of those life things that happen.
Can you make it feel bad? It was a 10 a while ago.
Uh-huh. I kind of feel bad because I don't feel bad.
Okay, that's
You know
it.
what I mean? I feel bad, well, because
That makes sense.
because of,
Right.
I don't feel guilty, but I feel guilty because I don't.
You feel guilty because you don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Guilt's been your old friend, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Let's do this. Even though
even though
I used to feel guilty all the time.
I used to feel guilty.
Now
all
I'm
the
feel
time.
guilty that I can't feel guilty.
I feel guilty that I can't.
So
feel
guilty on top of guilty.
guilty on top of guilty.
But I feel much better
But I feel much
because I
better
realize
because I realize
I've done the best I could.
I've done the best I can.
And guilty only hurts.
And guilty only.
I've had enough of the hurt.
I've had enough of that.
It's time to
hurt.
be happy
It's time to be happy.
and free.
Free.
Peace. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Now look at it. Can you make it feel bad at all? Because you used to feel guilty about it. Can you feel guilty about that you can't feel guilty?
No. No. It just happened.
Now, a while ago, it was big, wasn't it? You couldn't
Yeah.
even say anything, could you?
Yeah, no, it states, no, I mean, I can look at it now. I mean, I haven't been able to go through the whole thing for years.
Is this the first time you ever gone through it and never felt
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I usually can't get as far as I got.
Can you make it feel bad now? Notice our test.
No.
You can try harder, can't you?
I really can't see him. I mean, I can't see the people.
Is that interesting?
That's amazing. My name's Michelle. I met Robert about 4 years ago. He came and spoke where I worked, and
I was, what he spoke on that day was just about headaches, and it worked on some people that were my coworkers. But one interesting aspect was this one girl had a headache, and so he was tapping on it, and all of a sudden she started crying. So I was asking him some more questions about that, and he was saying sometimes when you have a headache, it's not about the headache. There's something else going on. That's just the physical aspect of maybe what she didn't want to talk about, whatever it was. I went to a weekend seminar, and that's when we addressed the Coca-Cola issue, my addiction with Coca-Cola. I was drinking 2 liters, at least 2 liters a day. I drink, matter of fact, I don't even remember the last time I had some. Like if I go to the movies, I might have a drink or 2 of it. It doesn't even appeal to me at all anymore. And that happened pretty quick. And so we dealt with that. And I started thinking, I had something happen to me when I was very young, about 7, and a very traumatic thing. And I had matter of fact, I had kind of repressed it until it was in my 30s, and all these memories of this started flooding back. So the first thing you do, you go to your doctor. Okay, you need to go to a psychiatrist or psychologist for this. So I go, all right, tell me your story. I barely get it out. Okay, we need to put you on some meds right now. So they write the meds out, and they give me the meds. I come back a little bit, now, how are you feeling? Pretty doped up, really, but, well, how's the other part? Well, I was so doped up, I didn't deal with that emotion. And so when I went to the seminar with Robert, I brought this up to him, and I couldn't really tell the story. I reached a point where I couldn't go through with it, and then I could tell a little bit more of the story. Because when you tell it, even though I was 7 at the time, when you start telling the story, you become 7 again. It all comes back. My younger sister was murdered, and I saw this. I was 7, she was 5. We were alone at the house, alcoholic father, mother just kind of, she was abused, and they had left, and someone had broken into the house, basically. We were under the bed. My sister had to go to the restroom. I begged her not to go, but she went to the restroom, and she was coming out. This man was coming in. I was under the bed. I heard, thumping noises, which were apparently him throwing her against the wall, whatever. And he dragged her into the bedroom. I'm still under the bed. And what I see, and now I can almost put myself, I see it, but I'm not there anymore. And what I see is his black boot on her throat, pressing down, and he kills her, basically. And I just stand under the bed. Talk about some guilt. Because I was thinking like an adult. I thought, why didn't I get up, grab a lamp, and just bang him over the head with it? Well, because I was 7 years old, And when my parents came back, or my stepfather, and I told them, they said, and I knew who it was. I said, I know who it is. I said, it's your son. I told my stepfather, it was your son. It was Eric. It was him. And they're like, no, honey, it wasn't, because you were with us. We thought both of you girls were with us, but we didn't realize that, we left Melissa behind until later. And you were with us. You didn't see anything like that, So the police come, and zilch. I say nothing because, you want to please mom. You don't want to. So I didn't say a word. I guess I repressed this for years and years and still believed what they told me. Some stranger came into the house, killed her. He was later caught because he killed another little girl. So, eventually he was caught. But I started having these flashbacks of this, and they were a lot to deal with. And so Robert and I talked about them, and I got where I could tell the story. And I got off the antidepressants, and I was on 6 at one point. They had me on 6 antidepressants, including Xanax and all kinds of things. I got off of all of those. I can now tell the story, which, believe me, a few years ago, I couldn't have got through. Just the thought of it would have I would have broke down. I confronted my mother on it. Big step there. I even went into, I was in a psychiatric ward even for a while. But what I would find is when I would start feeling those feelings, I'd remember the tapping. And I would just tap on that feeling. And tap on the sadness. And sometimes you don't even know what you're tapping on. You just, okay, this is sadness, 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 sadness. And during this time, too, I was married to an alcoholic husband, and not an abusive one at all. Drank at home, which I wish he would have went out and drank, but he was one of those bingers that starts at home and stays at home. I was going through all that, started tapping on that, and pretty soon removed myself from that situation. Filed for divorce. We became divorced, but an interesting thing is the day I went to court, I hadn't seen him, and I was going to court that day, and I went and saw Robert for a private session because I just knew, I didn't know what was going to happen when I saw him in court, how I was going to react. And I get into the courthouse, it's completely full, except for maybe a spot about this big. So I sit down, and I look up, and he walks in. Only place to sit. Right smack next to me. I am tapping like crazy, you know. And he sits down, and he's like, you seem different. And I said, really? You know, I said, well, you know, I've just accepted some facts about myself and my choices and all this. And he goes, you've been going to like a psychiatrist or something? I said, no, I've just been tapping. And he's like, okay. And I managed to just stay really calm and collected. And he tried to talk to me afterwards, you know, and I was like, you know, I really have nothing. There was a time when I could be pulled back into that, you know, oh, well, you know, let me explain this to you. And I thought, why? Why explain it? And it just has made me so much stronger in my convictions. And so now actually we're friends. He sobered up and we became friends. And I've even tapped on him. He had some knee problems, and I actually tapped on him for his knee problems. And I tap all the time. I did it today. Matter of fact, a girl at work had a headache, tapped on it. It was gone. You know, and so I use it for that. And so then I thought I had gained probably 100 pounds during at least 100 pounds during my marriage. And I thought, you know, if it's working on my job, it's working on my, you know, everything I'm doing, why not go ahead and try the weight loss? So I went to the seminar, and I started tapping. When I was hungry, I would tap. Am I really hungry? After I tapped for about 5 minutes, if I was hungry, I would eat. But I would find I would stop when I was full. I thought, okay, it's working on this. How about exercise? I hate to exercise. What if I start tapping on that? So I started to say, and I would tap like, you know, I always say the desire, you know, the desire to exercise, the desire to exercise. Pretty soon I noticed I'd come home from work, and I thought, I feel like going and walking. So put on my stuff and go walking. Now I'm up to running. I run about 5 miles 3 or 4 times a week, and I tap the whole time sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to do it so bad, and I just start tapping, and by the time I get home, before I know it, I'm changed clothes, I'm out on the track. I've lost 95 pounds. I still have 15 more to go. Yeah. It's taken about 18 months, but, you know, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter. I tap at the casinos, and I win. I went to Santa Fe a couple years ago with my cousin. This is kind of funny. And all the way to Santa Fe. She goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm tapping because I want to win. You know, you're an idiot. No, I'm going to win. So we get there, and I walk in, win $1,500. So we get back to the room, and she's like, tap on me, please. I'm like, no, you blew it. You know, you lost your chance on that one. I ended up winning 900 more on there. I know, it was amazing. Now, I don't go all the time because I don't want to push it, but, you know, when I do go, I visualize a lot of it.
So you just see